What is up, sports fans? My name is Chris. Welcome to Game Day Wagers, and welcome to the very first live stream edition on the Game Day Wagers YouTube channel. We've got a loaded slate to get to today, and whether you're walking with me live or you're catching the replay, I appreciate your support. Thank you so much for tuning in. Before we get into breaking down the betting board, though, if you haven't taken a second to drop a like on the video, please go ahead and do so now. If you guys are new around here watching for the first time, welcome. Please be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. We are pumping out some great content on a daily basis. And if all goes smooth today, we may add the live stream edition every Friday to break down the Premier League and other domestic soccer league competitions. For today's show, as I mentioned, we're going to be talking about the Premier League that kicks off in a couple hours' time with Liverpool taking on Bournemouth. We're going to be breaking down some futures bets that I've already locked into the account. We're going to be talking about our best bets for the weekend's action. I've got 15 selections that I want to be breaking down. I've got 5 best bets that I've already locked into my account. And as we go through each game, I'll make it abundantly clear which bets I've actually bet into my sportsbook account and which thoughts are just leans for you guys to get a better picture of what I'm thinking when breaking down these games. I urge you now to use your own discretion when either, tailing or fading these picks and with how much money you're simply wagering on each of these games. I'm going to be offering up my thoughts at the end of the show with a best bet recap so that you guys have, a clear picture of which games I've locked in already. There's going to be a link in the description that will give you kind of the entire season tracking. We're going to be updating that as we go along each week. And that'll be in the description for you guys to kind of follow along on a day-to-day basis. If you guys like a pick, hate a pick, think I'm onto something, think I'm just flat out insane, please let me know in the comment section. Let's hash it out. Let's debate. I'm always up for talking sports with fellow sports fans and fellow bettors as well. My goal is to entertain you guys for the half an hour, 45 minutes that we're on doing this live stream, give you a little insight into my thought process. And I want you guys to turn a profit here in the Premier League season and any other streams that and any other seasons that we talk about on these streams. Champions League's right around the corner. Serie A I follow closely. So we're going to definitely be bringing a mix of good soccer coverage to this live stream. Now, we've got the pleasantries out of the way. Let's get down to the good stuff, the stuff you guys came to here, and the bets that are going to make us some money for the 2025-2026 Premier League season. To kick things off, we're going to start with our long-term futures bets. We're going to start with the top goal scorer market. If you look at the odds, Erling Haaland is the clear favorite at plus 137 to take home top honors. Again, he's won this award in 2 of the last 3 seasons, but he's coming off a bit of a down year last year. Mo Salah won the award with 29 goals, a second best career high for him. I don't like Erling Haaland here at plus 137. I think this is a cheap price. We're basically banking on him to score another 30-goal season this year, and I'm not quite high enough on Manchester City to believe they have the ability to, turn back the clock to a couple of years where he scored 36 and where they just run rampant against everybody. I think they're going to be a little bit more reserved here. Obviously, the loss of Kevin De Bruyne is going to hurt their playmaking abilities. They did sign a couple of good key pieces in the midfield, but I just don't see Erling Haaland sitting on another 30-plus goal season that would win him the Golden Boot. If you look at the Liverpool contingent, obviously you have Mo Salah coming off a 29 goal performance last year, but they did bolster their attack, adding Hugo Ekitike and Florian Wirtz. That will definitely get their fair share of goals. Obviously, Florian Wirtz is more of a playmaker, and Hugo Ekitike is going to be their number 9 this year. So Salah will still get his fair share, but with Cody Gakpo kind of coming into his own, he's always good for a handful of goals when the going gets tough. I don't think Salah's sitting on another 29 goal performance, and I don't think he's going to be good enough here at a price of plus 500 to win this Golden Boot. So we're going to look kind of elsewhere. We're going to look for a long shot when talking about this Golden Boot award. We got Alexander Isak plus 700, Victor Gorkias plus 700, Benjamin Sesko plus 16, Joao Pedro plus 1,600, Cole Palmer plus 2,000, Hugo Ekitike plus 2,000, Ollie Watkins plus 2,500, and Dominic Solanke from Tottenham plus 3,300. You got Bukayo Saka at plus 4,000. I just don't see anybody other than Victor Gorkias running away with this Golden Boot award. Basically, Arsenal has been searching for the number 9. They've long desired, and Gorkias fits the bill perfectly. He's coming off 2 back-to-back high-scoring seasons at Sporting, scoring 39 goals and 29 goals the year before. He's very rarely injured. With the service he's going to get at the Emirates, with Odegaard pulling the strings, Bukayo Saka out wide delivering some great balls into the box. I think Gorkias has the ability to reach this 30 goal mark, and I believe he's going to win this Golden Boot here at plus 700. That's a bet I've already locked into my account. So Gorkias to win the Golden Boot at plus 700. Another kind of threat you got to be aware of is Alexander Isak. He finished second last year in scoring, but uncertainty surrounding, where he's going to play, how much he's going to play for Newcastle, that kind of has me a little bit shying off from his market. I think Gorkias is the man to watch in this year's Premier League action for a top goal scorer. So at plus 700, he's in the bank account already. Next up, we have a kind of head-to-head matchup. We're taking Manchester United to finish higher than Newcastle at minus 138. That's at Bet365. Basically, this is a matchup that I really like, despite, plenty of friends that are Manchester United supporters. I would prefer to see them suffer a little bit. But Manchester United, they've quietly put together a nice transfer window. Their attack, has real potential and real danger with a full preseason under Ruben Amorim. I'm expecting a more fluid and attacking style of play. Obviously, they signed the likes of Brian Mbeumo, Mateus Cunha, Benjamin Sesko. That adds fire to their attack up front. If they manage to sign Gianluigi Donnarumma from PSG, there's talks that he's in line to head over to Old Trafford and leave PSG. That's going to be a major upgrade from Andre Onana in net. And a key stop here or there is kind of the difference between all 3 points and 1 point, or 1 point and 0 points at the end of the day. If you look at Newcastle, on the other hand, they've got some depth issues right now. Obviously, Alexander Isak is the biggest concern for them. They had a very poor transfer window. Sandro Tonali's, been linked with a move out to Juventus. I'm not sure if that's going to go through or not. But ultimately, they're starting the season without Isak, without Anthony Gordon. That's 2 of their top players. And with thin depth and Champions League football this year, I just don't see how they're going to be able to contend on both fronts. I'm expecting kind of a regression season for Newcastle, a bit of a mid-table finish, while I'm expecting Manchester United to have a good season under Ruben Amorim here with a couple of fresh faces in attack. I just see Manchester United sitting on a bounce-back season this year, so we're going to take them to finish higher than Manchester. So we're going to take Manchester United to finish higher than Newcastle at minus 138 at Bet365. That's already in the account, so I suggest playing that as well. And finally, the best bet you can make here to win outright, plus 175 at Bet365. Liverpool to win the Premier League outright. This is the smart money. I like a little value here with Chelsea as well at plus 900, but I think the smart money is on Liverpool, and that's where my money's going. I've already bet them at plus 225 and a little bit more at plus 175. They entered the season here. Obviously, we just spoke about them off the top here. They lost Chan Alexander-Arnold, but they replaced him with Jeremy Frimpong, which is a great pacey back, one of the best wing backs in Europe, and they bolstered their attack. They're already incredible attack, which scored 86 goals last year, which is tops in the EPL. With obviously Hugo Ekitike and Florian Wirtz. Salah's coming off a great season. He has shown no signs of slowing down. And while we're not high on him for the Golden Boot this year, I do believe he's going to contribute in a big way. They have one of the deepest squads. They have a great home field advantage. And if you look at their competition, Arsenal, we backed Gorkias to score the most goals in the Premier League, but they seem to always struggle when the going gets tough. They always pee down their legs. And when the pressure gets going, they just simply cannot be trusted. And as I mentioned for Manchester City, I just don't see them being able to, replicate their success of the past, I would say 5 years or so. They've lost some key players. They did sign a couple of good guys like Timothy Reindeers and Ryan Shirky, but I just see Liverpool being the smart money. I know it's kind of a boring pick, but at plus 175, that's some good value with them to get off to a winning start on Friday. Now, those are the futures bets. Those are what we like to see for season-long bets. We're going to start. We're going to kind of switch gears here. We're going to go to the Premier League opening weekend best bets. We obviously kicking off the season with Liverpool taking on Bournemouth. The best bet I've made for this game, I've already made it, so this is one I suggest tailing. is Liverpool -1.5 at -130. That's at Bet365. Honestly, the only team I see stopping Liverpool this year is Liverpool, with the way their Premier League favorites entered the season, and rightfully so. As I mentioned, the additions of Florian Wirtz, Jeremy Frimpong, Hugo Ekitike, they give them arguably the deepest roster across the Premier League. They're one of the highest scoring teams. They scored 86 goals last year. I don't see any signs of slowing down for them. And at home, with the Cop's going to be jumping, the trophy's going to be in the building. There's going to be a good atmosphere there. I just see this game screaming 3-0 in favor of Liverpool. If you look at Bournemouth, on the other hand, they did overachieve last year to a 9th place finish, but they didn't really enforce the roster. Dean Houston was a breakout star for them, but he left for Real Madrid. Their preseason form hasn't been great either, with 2 losses, with their A lineup out and 1 goal scored and 6 conceded. I just see Liverpool, as we've grown accustomed to seeing them at home, dominating proceedings from start to finish. And we're going to take them -1.5 here at -120. That's already locked in the account, so that is a best bet that I recommend playing for this preseason, for this Premier League season opener. If you guys are looking for a kind of a player prop, if that's kind of your style, or anytime goal scorer, I do believe Cody Gakpo, we're getting at +220 at DraftKings to score a goal. That's tremendous value. I see Liverpool obviously 3-0. They're going to need goal scorers, and Gakpo's coming off a good game in the FA Cup FA Community Shield. So we'll carry on a little bit of momentum into this opener with him finding the back of the net. Now we're going to shift gears to Aston Villa versus Newcastle. Here we got Villa Park hosting Newcastle. As I mentioned off the top, Newcastle are going to be one team that I'm going to be looking to play against, for the majority of the season. Villa coming to this game, they finished 6th last year, and their home form was elite. They were 4th best in the Premier League at home, behind Liverpool, City, and Chelsea, while scoring 34 goals at home. That's some pretty good company to keep. Their preseason was positive. They had 2 wins and 1 draw. And Emery's 4-2-3-1 system kind of thrives on wing play and possession, something I believe can overwhelm Newcastle's leaky defense, which gave up 47 goals last year and simply just didn't get better this year. As I mentioned, Newcastle are going to be missing their top 2 guys in Alexander Isak and Anthony Gordon, who's doubtful with an injury. I know Emiliano Martinez, the goalie for Aston Villa, is suspended, but the rest of the squad is intact. And if you kind of look at the recent head-to-heads, it does slightly favor Newcastle, but this is a new season with new expectations. So I like Villa to get it done here. The best bet is Villa moneyline +125. I haven't bet that yet. I'm kind of waiting to see if what happens in the Liverpool game, but I do like Villa here, moneyline -125. If you're looking for kind of a prop bet, under 8.5 shots on target is kind of where I'm going. I expect Aston Villa to kind of dominate proceedings here in Newcastle with, their 2 creative players up front missing. I expect more of a slower, cagey type fielded out affair. I have Aston Villa projected for 5 shots, Newcastle projected for 3. So we're going to take the under 8.5 shots on target. That's at Bet365 at -125. Again, Villa money line, under 8.5 shots on target. Those are 2 bets that I have not bet yet. I might bet them kind of early on tomorrow morning, but we'll just see how today goes with Liverpool and Cody Gakpo. Switching gears, we're going to Brighton, taking on Fulham. Brighton's -110 favorites over Fulham. I'm taking the over 2.5 goals here. The last 3 meetings, 3-1, 3-1, 3-0. Plenty of scoring. Brighton have attacking depth with Minta. Welbeck's kind of turning back the clock a little bit. He's in good form, and they should test a Fulham defense that gave up 54 goals last year. Fulham can counter through Muniz and Smith Rowe, but both teams to score cashed in 71 of both teams' games last year. I just see this game being open, both teams trading chances. I don't see this game ending up being 1-1. I see 2-1 or 3-1, similar to what it's been in the past. So we're going to go with the over 2.5 goals here. I've not bet this play yet. I do think that's the right side. And for a prop bet, over 8.5 shots on target at -138. These are both at Bet365. Obviously, with goals come shots, with shots come chances. And I just see both teams kind of going back and forth, in kind of not similar fashion to the Newcastle-Aston Villa game. I see this game being played wide open. I see plenty of opportunities. And over 8.5 shots on target is kind of the way I would play the prop bet market for that contest. If we're looking at Tottenham versus Burnley, Obviously, Tottenham's coming off that crucial or devastating, if you will, loss in the UEFA Super Cup midweek. They were in cruise control, 2-0 up against PSG before kind of collapsing and falling apart late with the final 6 minutes of the game. A quick turnaround here will do them well. I do believe they played well enough to win that game. They should have won that game. They look solid offensively versus PSG going forward. And Burnley's defense is going to struggle in the Premier League. The steep drop off from the steep drop off from the Premier League to the Championship is one that is not talked about enough. I don't see Burnley troubling this Tottenham defense. So the best bet here, I'm not laying the minus 275 for the full game. We're going to go Tottenham to win the first half on the money line at minus 130. I think they're going to get off to a rock solid start at home in front of their home faithful, and they're going to hold a halftime lead going into the break. If you're looking at a prop bet for that game, Dominic Solanke to score plus 160, that's tremendous value for the guy that will probably lead the line in this contest. Obviously, the loss of Son is going to affect this offense, but they do have good pieces in place to be able to score goals. They will be better defensively with Thomas Frank taking over at the managerial position. You'll have a better even so game plan than Ange Postecoglou did last season. So we're going to take Dominic Solanke to continue his scoring ways here at plus 160. I think that's a good bet. Again, these two bets are just kind of leans. I haven't bet them in my account as of yet, but that's kind of the thought process for Tottenham versus Burnley. Next up, I have bet this game already. So this is a game that I suggest tailing. We're going to take the West Ham side plus 125 on the money line over Sunderland. West Ham is taking on this newly promoted side, Sunderland, and fading newcomers in round one has been very profitable over the last two seasons. As I mentioned, promoted sides are 0 wins, 5 losses, and 1 draw, with Leicester City drawing Tottenham last year. So as you see, this, as I mentioned, the jump up in competition from the Championship to the Premier League is definitely one that's not been talked about as much. And Sunderland haven't really done much in the transfer market to warrant, being as close to, this underdog price to West Ham, that I believe they're favorites to be relegated once again this year at, I think it's minus 300. So obviously the losses are going to pile up early and often for them. I expected to start in the opening round. If you look at the Hammers, they finished 14th last year. They're going to see this as a chance to kind of set the tone. They won 2 of their 3 preseason matches coming into this game. So at plus 125, I know it's on the road, but we're going to take them to get the job done over the newly promoted side. We're just going to continue fading them. It's been profitable for us. So why not go back to the well here with West Ham plus 125. If you're looking at the next game, we have Wolves plus 550 versus Manchester City. Manchester City sitting at minus 225 to win outright. This is a game where I'm just simply staying away. I don't have a bet locked in. I don't have any sort of leans for this game. I scoured the markets. 220 minus 225 is not worth playing in my opinion for Man City on the road, especially. They're missing Phil Foden. They're missing Rodri. I expect them to win. I expect them to probably win 2-0. But the shot on target market and the goal scorer markets are heavily in favor of City. Hell, Erling Haaland's minus 150 to score. That's not a price that we're going to make. That's not a price. That's a playable point that we're going to be able to turn a profit on a long-term basis. So we're just going to go ahead and pass. Shot on target market, as I mentioned, is heavily skewed in Manchester City's favor. Could they put up 10 shots on target? Yeah, probably. But for the price to pay for 8.5 shots on target, I'm not willing to take that risk in the opening game. We're going to take a kind of more wait and see approach for Manchester City here. So we're going to pass this game. Manchester City versus Wolves, no play, no lean. Just leave it alone and just kind of enjoy the soccer. Then we move to Sunday where we have Chelsea taking on Crystal Palace, minus 175. The Blues are favored. The value isn't there for a straight win with Chelsea. Obviously, they should get it, but Palace looks solid against Liverpool in the FA Community Shield. Over 2.5 goals is simply too expensive for my liking, so I'm looking at a goal scorer instead. There are going to be goals in this game. João Pedro had a great FIFA Club World Cup debut for Chelsea. He's plus 140 in this game to score a goal, and that makes sense, at that price point. I think Chelsea are going to be full marks here at home. I think they're going to bag a couple, and João Pedro is going to lead the way. Again, I've not played that. This is kind of just a lean for this contest, But João Pedro to score a goal at plus 140 definitely screams value. Let's take a break here. Is there anything in the chat that we can kind of go through? Let's take a look. Okay, moving on to Nottingham Forest versus Brentford. Obviously, Nottingham Forest plus 105 on the money line here versus Brentford. I think Brentford's in for a pretty bad season. I have them going down this year to the championship. Not gonna lie, Nottingham Forest preseason was pretty tough. It was pretty rough, actually. I should say 1 goal in 5 matches. But at home last year, Forest were elite defensively. They scored 26 goals with 16 conceded. That was a joint best mark in the league. Brentford obviously sold Brian Mbeumo to Manchester United, and they're missing Christian Norgard as well, and have a new coach they're breaking in. I just don't see them, jumping on the winning wagon earlier on in the season with a bunch of new key pieces in place, and a bunch of key pieces from last season just long gone. I like Nottingham Forest to win this at home. I think they're going to bounce back and control this one from start to finish. They should dictate possession. They should generate plenty of chances on a leaky Brentford defense, especially on the road. And I like them to capitalize at home and get off on a winning note. Nottingham Forest money line plus 105. And the prop bet, Forest over 4.5 shots on target minus 138. These are two plays that I've not exactly locked into to the bank account yet. I'm kind of taking a wait and see approach, see if we can get a better number on Nottingham Forest as we approach kickoff on Sunday. But this is kind of my thought process in terms of where the value lies for this Nottingham Forest versus Brentford contest. And now the game that we've all been waiting for. Obviously, this is the pick of the litter for round one. Manchester United taking on Arsenal. Old Trafford should be jumping here in this Premier League season opener. Obviously, Arsenal were the third highest scoring team last year. We talked about how United bolstered up their attack with, Brian Mbeumo, Mateus Cunha, Benjamin Sesko, in addition to, Rasmus Højlund, Bruno Fernandes. They've got good attacking pieces. But the problem for United is they haven't shored up their back line. They still have the same back four they're going to be trotting out, the same defensive midfielders they're going to be trotting out. Andre Onana is still in net, which is always a circus when he's in between the sticks. So for that reason, we're going to take our best bet is over 2.5 goals at minus 110. This is a play I've locked into the account already. And we're going to add Victor Gorkias to score a goal to endear himself to the Gunners faithful in probably the best stadium you could probably do so at Old Trafford, the Theatre of Dreams. I've already bet both of these games, both of these picks as well. So I suggest tailing these Manchester United over 2.5 goals and Gorkias to score a goal at plus 110. If you want to parlay them, if you're into the same game parlay stuff, you can get that at plus 180. That's an all right price, but I would definitely go singles here over 2.5 and Gorkias to score. Arsenal, their MO is to score goals. They're going to attack every chance they get. They obviously brought in Victor Gorkias for a reason. He's going to lead the line. I've got him for a top goal scorer this year at plus 700. So with their best kind of defense, and their ability to score goals from corners, I think they're going to trouble Manchester United plenty in this game. Obviously, Manchester United, as I mentioned, they haven't shored up the back line, so we're going to see plenty of chances. We're going to see plenty of goals. I'm ready to cash 2 tickets in this game, over 2.5 goals, and Victor Gorkias to score a goal. And the final game we have is Leeds plus 140 over Everton. I've bet this one already. I think my favorite bet of the weekend is this game. Both teams to score, yes, minus 110. Obviously there's going to be a little bit of excitement surrounding both sides. Leeds are back in the Leeds are back in the Premier League after barnstorming the championship en route with that 100-point season. They do have defensive issues, but their offense, they're all offense. They go in attack every chance they get. Everton, they've strengthened their side, and the continuity kind of with David Moyes on the bench is a positive in my eyes. They've got some good pieces up front. Defensively, they're not going to be as stout as they were at times last season. And with both teams kind of, circling this game on the calendar as, 3 points they could possibly pick up to get their season off on the right foot. I just see both teams going forward. They're going to push bodies forward, go for the win, trade chances, and find the back of the net. Both teams to score minus 110. You can get that at Bet365. That's a bet that I've locked into my account already. And the prop bet is over 8.5 shots on target. I like that as well. I've not bet that yet. We'll kind of wait and see if that market shifts. But the best bet over eight. The best bet is yes, both teams will score. So that is the full-on game breakdown for all 10 Premier League games for this round one slate. So to recap, essentially our best bets, the ones that I've already locked in, we've got both teams to score yes in the Leeds-Everton contest. We've got over 2.5 goals in the Manchester United-Arsenal game, combined with Victor Gorkias to score a goal at plus 110. We have West Ham to win money line plus 125 over Sunderland. That's a really good pick. And we have Liverpool to kick things off in in style, if you will, -1.5, -120 at Bet365 over Bournemouth. Those are the 5 plays that I've already locked in. As I mentioned, the rest of the games that I gave you are just kind of leans a little bit into my thought process in terms of what I think provides value for those contests. Again, be diligent with what you're tailing. Be diligent with what you're fading. Don't risk too much than you can afford to lose. And hopefully we can turn this season into a profitable one for the 2025-26 Premier League season. Now, we've kind of broken down the entire slate. So at half an hour here for this live stream, we're going to kind of wrap it up. Now, again, if you guys like the content, if you guys think, I'm onto something, please leave a comment in the comment section. If you guys think I'm just batshit crazy for taking some of the picks I'm taking, also leave it in the comment section. I welcome a little bit of debate back and forth. I want to hear why you think, something works, why you think something, it sounds crazy. And I kind of want to keep an open dialogue going throughout the duration of the Premier League season. Don't forget to drop a like on the video. That goes a long way in supporting the channel. And if you guys are new around here, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, Game Day Wagers. We're going to be dropping daily free picks videos continuously. We're talking WNBA, MLB, NFL, college football is around the corner starting next week. I'm very excited for that. We're going to be kicking off the Premier League season in style here with 5 best bets, hopefully 5 best bet winners for you guys. And with the Champions League rolling around in September, we're going to be covering that 100%, absolutely no doubt. Again, thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate all your support and enjoy the Premier League opener today between Liverpool and Bournemouth. We'll catch you all next week.